Tell us your name and tell us about your project.
My name is Edwin Huble, and I am one of the foreigning researchers for the idea that the universe does not consist only of the Milky Way, but in fact of many other galaxies which are speeding away from our own.
What were you guys trying to do or find?
Much like a lot of astrology, I was not sure exactly what I was looking for. I had a theory that we were not the only galaxy, that the Milky Way was not the entire universe, and I was looking for proof of that theory. This proof came in the observance of the Cepheid variables in distant nebulae, which were later determined to be other galaxies.
Where did the project or experiment occur?
My work began at the Mount Wilson Observatory. I was blessed to have access to the world's then largest telescope, the Hooker Space Telescope, which was 100 inches. It was completed shortly before my arrival.
What other significant events were happening around the world at that time?
The biggest event was the closing of World War I in the previous year, a war in which I actually served as a member of the 86th. We were found combat ready for Europe, but never did see battle. Less important, but affecting the lives of every American, was the passing of the Volstead Act, which began the prohibition.
Who else was involved in that project?
George Hale was the founder and director of Mount Wilson Observatory, so he was naturally involved in the project since he himself invited me to the observatory after the war.
What was your role in the project?
I was the pioneer of the project. It's hard to assign a role to what was at the time a completely new area of study. I found the distant nebulae and determined them to be too far to be just nebulae, so I determined they were galaxies and was able to approximate a speed for the galaxies to be considered for factoration by the scientific community.
What impact did your project have on the physics community?
The impact would be we changed the universe as we know it completely. The idea that we were the only galaxy and that we not only are one in thousands of galaxies out there, they are speeding away from us and they are accelerating.
Why did you study law instead of physics?
My father wanted me to study law, and I wanted to be an obedient son, so I worked hard to earn my law degree from the University of Chicago. After my poor father's death in 1913 and some time spent teaching in high school, I pursued my PhD at University of Chicago Yerkes Observatory.